welcome to our today's debate. I am Erica Ano and I will be your chairwoman for today. Our today's debate question is special education effective or not? Introducing to you the affirmative side of the debate, we have Ms. Daisy Celeste, Mr. Lee Ryan Lloyd, and Ms. Ivy Katina. On the opposite side, we have Mr. Rodrigo Zumo, Ms. Cindy Diso, and Ms. Rizal Nakayanan. The debate will be speculated by the judges coming from different prestigious universities. We have Mr. Edsel Arcolejos, Ms. Angeline Los Arcos, Mr. Denmark Arlan, and Mr. Aaron Cabatonga. And we have our debate on paper. We have Mr. Eduardo Molabola. Let us now hear the first argument from the affirmative side, and we have Ms. Celeste.
Thank you for that. Okay, so special education programs can be effective in supporting and the learning and development of students with disabilities or special needs. These programs are designed to provide individualized support and services to help students achieve their educational goals. Research has shown that when properly implemented, special education programs can improve academic achievement, social skills, and overall quality of life for students with, again, disabilities. Special education programs can also help ensure that students with disabilities are able to access the same educational opportunities as their peers without disabilities. Overall, while special education programs can be effective, ongoing evaluation and improvement are necessary to ensure that they are meeting the needs of providing them with the best possible opportunities.
Thank you for that, Ms. Celeste. Let us now hear the first argument from the opposing team. We have Mr. Insumo.
Special education is not effective as it is because tailoring instruction to individual students can be a challenge. Because in my own experience, special students are learning, but not to the point that it is permanent and it is only sustaining in a limited time. Also, in global setting, the special education is not that kind of empowered because students with disabilities have limited functions in the society, and also the government has limited resources. And also, the teachers, or let us say that the SPED teachers are only limited in employment, and it is not actually that kind of a thing in the society.
Thank you for that, Mr. Insumo. Let us now have the second argument from the affirmative team. We have Mr. Lloyd.
So special education is the answer to the students who were discriminated in the entire history because of their disability. So when we say special education, it is to unlock the full potential of the people with disabilities. So the government will produce special teachers that will provide the special needs of the students, and that includes the facility and the funds that is from the government. And they also will provide special attention to these students that needs special focus for them to achieve the full potential. Because if we are not going to separate these two programs, which is the program for normal people and people with disability, it is hard for the teacher to focus, and also the teachers aren't competent enough to handle them. That is why we are trying to preserve teachers and train these teachers to handle these people with disability for this special education.
Thank you for that, Mr. Lloyd. And now let's have the second and last argument from the opposing team. We have Ms. Diso.
So I wanted to raise another idea, which social development should be an essential component to any school program, and every student should have goals specifically created for him or her. This means that the staff must have a very clear picture of where each student is functioning socially and set realistic goals based on that. All students should be exposed to appropriate role models and have opportunities to interact with peers. Developing friendship is essential for all, although this relationship might look different based on the needs of each student. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ms. Diso. Now that they have presented their arguments, let's hear out the side and opinions from the opposing teams. May we have Ms. Nakayanan from the opposition
to help them so that so that those parents who couldn't send their children will be able to, as they will be funded their education, to help them develop and reach their full potential. Who knows? Maybe those exceptional students will be able to invent those cures for those incurable diseases. And also, government allotted funds in order to address and cater those special needs with those students with learning difficulties. So in terms of faculties and facilities, there is no problem in that because in a community there is only few individuals who have special needs. So it does not need so many rooms. And also, earlier, Miss Sandy, you have mentioned that it is a disadvantage to be exposed to only one population. Well, I oppose that because exposing to only one environment will help to create a safe environment of acceptance and understanding regardless of disabilities, breaking any barriers. This increases the self-esteem and confidence among individuals with disabilities who will feel welcome, supported, and valued, developing their social and emotional skills. This results to improvement of their academic outcomes and lessen the cases of bullying and harassment.
Okay, so let us say of the things that you have mentioned earlier: discriminatory approach, social skills, quality of life, separation, safe environment and acceptance, and most especially the exposure. So let's come up with the idea that special education is like a box. Let's consider it as a box. It is because they're isolating the students. So how will we emphasize the word growth if they're not exposed? How will they influence to a greater population if they're not exposed? And also, especially with the idea that they're different, right? So in that case that they are isolated, they will really feel that they are different. So in that case, let us hear out, let us give them an opportunity to be exposed, to be influenced, and let us consider that they will not feel that they are really different from normal people.
So you said that special education students doesn't have the freedom because according to you, they are fully isolated. So special education is truly different from other education. Why? Because the students in special education needs special attention and special teachers. If, let's say for example, if we are going to integrate these special people with special needs to a classroom with normal people, what will happen? As I've mentioned before, it's hard for the teacher because there are teachers that cannot handle the special needs of the special students. That is why there are trained teachers for special education. And also the focus will be divided because this is the normal students and this will be the special students that need special focus. So the teachers will fully focus in these type of people because they cannot understand to know. And then these people can understand, so they will be set aside and the teacher will fully focus in these types. So the education will not be effective and the teachers aren't competent enough to handle them. That is why I mentioned before, there are teachers that lack of patience because one of the teachers are trained, one of the teachers that must be handling the special education are trained when it comes to patience. That is why we need to separate them. And then for the perspective of the students with disabilities, they need to accept, and that is the reality that they are different from the others. But we all know that students, normal or not, we are different from our different flaws we have. But the students with special needs, they are truly far more different from these students with differences. And that is why they have to accept that they are truly different. And that is why the special education is the answer, to focus more on the education that is really fit and can be able to provide them the education that they need. That is why special education is, for me, it is effective and it is not about isolation. As if you're going to argue about the socialization, we have students that surrounding those special students. We have different students with maybe the same flaws or disabilities. They can socialize with them, and that is not an isolation, rather that is the way of education, educating the students in their own way, in their own needs.
Okay, so an example of these people who had disabilities that have benefited from the special education program are Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise had dyslexia that from back when he was young, he had dyslexia. This is an ability that affected his reading and writing, ability. But because of the special education program, he is now a renowned actor, a highly paid actor. Stephen Hawking, he had a disability. We could all see that he had a disability. But because of this program, he has now become a great scientist. Another example is Albert Einstein. Did you know that Albert Einstein suffered with speech and language difficulty? But because of this special education program, he was able to enhance his abilities, and now he had become a great scientist in our society. And according to the, in part of financial aid, according to RA 7277, this is an act that provides the people with disabilities the chance to study. And this is their right, their human right, that even with disabilities, they have the right to access the basic necessities. And one of our basic necessities is education. That's all.
As we are about to end our debate, we have the judges to conclude their ideas with regards to our today's topic.
So, for the affirmative side, they were able to set the tone in this debate and have given adequate information to support their respective arguments.
Good morning again, everyone. Thank you for the insights that you have provided. So as for the opposing team, you did a great job on stating your arguments clearly, and your arguments also are supported with facts and evidence, which I think gives more punch to your claims. So overall, you have defended your side, and kudos to everyone for a well-discussed debate.
Criteria scoring.
Gawa sa instruction, hindi na nakatulugan. Kung ano yung criteria nito kung may score ka,
Balik kita.
Dili na mo. Cut na lang video lang. I-post namin. Tapos mag-scoring na ako. Tapos, i-call na tayo. Nag-play na po na.
Here's the criteria for judging.
Tayo pa. Sige mo.
Again,
Sakto
again.
lang.
Ito na.
Ito lang. Ito lang.
Criteria
Ito lang.
here's the criteria for judging. Organization and clarity. Main arguments and response are outlined in clear and orderly way, 10%. Use of arguments. Reasons are given to support the resolution, 50%. Use of cross-examination and rebuttal, ability to defend itself against attack, 30%. Presentation style, tone of voice, clarity of expression, precision of arguments, 10%, with a total of 100%. But first, before we announce the winner, let us have first the best speaker.
Now, I will announce the best speaker. This speaker really gave substantial arguments, provide concrete basis, and give a big contribution in defending their side and in his or her team. This speaker is no other than Miss Cindy Blight in Gisa.
And now, we will be announced the winner. We'll be announcing. Ikat natin mo. And now we'll be announcing the winner. I will first congratulate to the both teams since you deliberated your sides well. But since we need to choose a winner, we come up with a ano si more good job. Congratulations to the both team tapos handshake anay. 5, 6, 7.
Pwede sa ba kung handshake sa inyo guys?
Ang winner na ba ang winner?
Tapos sa winner, di ba?
Congratulate, tapos kaya nandun ang winner.
Tapos naman handshake sa pan winner sa judge. And now we'll be announcing the winner. Congratulations to the both teams since you deliberated your sides well. But since we need to choose a winner, we come up with this anonymous decision based on the substantive details that this team has given us. And the winner for this